Good day to you, and thank you for joining us this morning on CTS News. I am Louisa Lee, here to keep you informed and entertained. 欢迎收看 Louisa 报报，每天给你最新奇、最有趣的新闻。First to news in the U.S. In the Big Apple, haiku traffic signs have been appearing on poles throughout the 5 boroughs for some time, serving as a creative method to promote road safety. However, many busy urbanites are saying that they are not feeling the power of these poetic words or safety messages, which are installed at high crash locations around the city. 最近纽约出现很有艺术气息的交通警告标志，要提醒行人小心车辆。不过 New Yorkers 真的觉得这些标志有用吗？我们一起来听听看他们怎么说吧。
New York City pedestrians bombarded by traffic, noise, and thousands of signs. So the city's Department of Transportation is offering 200 inventive options. Called Curbside Haiku, Transportation Commissioner Janette Sade-Khan says the project combines art and safety.
The idea is to take a new approach and try some different ways to get the message across to pedestrians that they need to look out when they're crossing the street.
The creator of the signs is poet and artist John Morse.
I worked on those poems and worked on them and worked on them and worked on them, and I'd sometimes grieve over a single word, a single syllable. You know, the construct of a haiku is 5, 7, 5 syllables, so that every syllable counts. So you pick it well.
A dozen images and haiku, 2 of which are in Spanish, are posted in 144 locations. Morse says he wants his haiku to convey a sense of intimacy and be discovered rather than appear larger than life. And at only 8 by 8 inches each, they are easily missed.
Just don't understand why it has to be up there. People could just crash and stuff, but yeah.
I wouldn't even notice it.
I don't know how many people will actually look at it. We're a little focused on what's going forward.
Some 4,000 pedestrians are killed or seriously injured in the Big Apple every year.
For far too long, we've looked at our streets through a 1950s planning perspective, a windshield perspective. And when you think about the fact that over half of New Yorkers don't even own a car, we need to really reevaluate and prioritize sustainable modes of transport.
Curbside haiku will be up for just under 1 year. But as Moore says, for an artist, 11 months in New York City is not a bad run.
And in Japan, a familiar face and voice is back. Pop legend Cyndi Lauper, who stayed around for the people in Japan after the March 11 disaster last year, has returned to the country once again to comfort and soothe the minds of the survivors with her music. 去年日本311地震发生时，原本要在东京表演的 Cyndi Lauper 并没有离开，反而留下来为灾民表演。而今年她又回到东京开演唱会，要把门票收入捐出来给灾区。
See your true colors shining through.
Still showing her true colors. 1 year after Japan's earthquake that saw most foreign artists cancel their performances in the country, Cyndi Lauper is back in Tokyo. The singer is doing a series of concerts to raise money for those affected by last year's tragedies.
I always thought rock could save the world. Rock and roll could save the world. I still come from that. That's how I grew up. So I think, you know, in the spirit of Live Aid and all the things that music did and the Beatles and what they taught us and John and Yoko, hey, I think we should just keep passing it along and understand that and don't forget about your friends.
Lauper also called on people to support those affected commercially.
Life goes on for them, but it's just harder. So don't forget about them, you know, and commerce. You know, buy things from there. Keep people working. You're going to buy anyway. Might as well buy from the areas that were hit, where the stores are still open. Just keep the money moving so people can recover and get back on their feet.
Last year, after the earthquake and tsunami struck northern Japan, Lauper chose to stay in the country and continued with her tour in dimly lit concert halls, donating a portion of ticket sales to support the devastated areas. 1 year on, and she continues to spread her goodwill message.
I don't think you can catch radiation from shaking somebody's hand or giving them a hug. You know what I mean? So don't discount that. Don't isolate these people.
Cyndi Lauper is performing at venues in Japan until March 15.
And now to movie news. The lackluster opening of John Carter has crushed Disney's dream of developing the studio's next big franchise. And with a projected loss of $165 million, it is looking to join the constellation as one of Hollywood's costliest flops. 电影《John Carter》虽然上映后登上了北美票房第2名，但是其实票房成绩并不是很好。分析师就说，这部片子有可能会让迪士尼公司大亏钱。
Disney's John Carter was released in the U.S. and international markets last Friday, earning less than $31 million at the North American box office and $100 million worldwide during its first weekend. Industry analysts say, with a production cost estimated at around $250 million and with expensive rather than effective marketing strategies, the film needs to make at least $400 million just to break even.
It was maybe the worst marketed big budget motion picture in the last 10 or 15 years. It got very, very poor reviews in terms of the preview screenings. The advance notice and the advertising was unclear. No one could figure out what the movie was all about. And basically, it dropped dead at the box office.
Adapted by Edgar Rice Burroughs' 11-volume Barsoom series of novels, the film revolves around an ex-military captain who was transported to Mars, where he got reluctantly involved in a war between the various tribes of Mars. Disney hoped it would be its next so-called tentpole movie, a movie that can bring a series of merchandising opportunities for the studio. But the chances are slim, as John Carter received mostly negative reviews even before its release. And the mega-budgeted film is expected to lose money in more ways than one.
What does Disney promote now in their stores? What do they license in terms of the merchandising that they don't do themselves? And there's no new attraction that they're really, you're never going to see John Carter events or rides at any of the Disney theme parks.
In contrast, the past weekend's box office #1, Dr. Seuss's The Lorax, is believed to be a hit in terms of merchandising and theme park attraction for years to come, as more moviegoers are expected to visit Universal Orlando Resort, where kids can go on a ride through the pages of Dr. Seuss's children's books.
And for some convincing moves, go with the act of Valor in theaters this Friday. Director Mike McCoy and Scott Wall are depicting the brutal chaos of battle as accurately as possible by mixing real-life heroes and Hollywood actors in the action flick that's inspired by true events. 本周五要上映的还有战争片《Act of Valor》、海豹神兵英勇行动，动作还有战争场面都非常逼真，喜欢军事片的朋友们可千万不要错过。
Mask up. 2, 1.
Action-packed, guaranteed. Starring real-life Navy SEALs, Act of Valor revolves around a fictional plot of a secret operation to recover a kidnapped CIA agent, along with up-to-date tactics, technology, and weaponry seen on the actual battlefield. Be prepared for a heart-pumping adventure. Act of Valor is slated for release this Friday.
Our intel says they're heading to our country.
They're gonna hit us at home.
That ain't gonna happen.
Let's go, let's go!
Lieutenant, prepare your men for a bigger fight than what you had imagined.
Hey boys, we gotta roll!
You're cleared to move on target Alpha. How can you stop this?
I can't. All boots are on the ground.
Be safe.
You know I will.
And that's it for this edition. I am Louisa Lee, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Meanwhile, stay with CTS for the latest weather update and for more top stories.